Evening, Speed Gaming. I hope you're ready for some more Super Metroid Multiworld Tournament action. Winners semifinals, the upper bracket here between Team Slow and Team Zevdi. My name is the Hockey Towner, but don't think for a second that I'm alone in this commentary booth. I'm joined by the one, the only Kip. What is going on, Kip?
Hey, Hockey. Good to be here tonight. Really excited about this race. Let's go through a lot of information here. This is the winners semifinal. This is a double elimination bracket. And so the winner of this race will move on to face Bear Pair in the winner's final. The loser of this race tonight will go down into the losers, I think, like quarterfinals or something. I don't know. There'll be 6 teams left. And to add a little intrigue here, the winning team again faces Bear Pair. The losing team of this race actually will face my team, Lost Vikings, me and Rumble. So this is going to be really interesting. There's a lot of cool narratives we could talk about.
No, for sure, Kip, for sure. This should be a wonderful race between these two titans of multi-world randomizer. And I've been waiting a long time for a prime time matchup such as this one.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. First of all, everybody, this is a major minor seed. It's a 50-50 chance for the bot to roll a full or major minor. We've seen, or at least I personally have seen more full throughout the tournament, but this one is a major minor, which should be interesting. The big thing I think that makes this matchup particularly interesting is that if you go by the initial tournament seeding from the seeding race, this is the overall tournament number 1 and number 2 seeds from the original seeding process. So 2 really good teams, and so far in the bracket portion, both undefeated. So going to be a fun race.
For sure. No doubt about it, Kip. This has been a really exciting tournament, kind of the format leading up to this double elimination playoff bracket. And as you said, yeah, we've got major minor on the docket for tonight. So nothing too kind of provocative here in Retro Brinstar, just the typical items like Morph Ball, but Spring Ball is a nice early pickup, I think.
Indeed. On the right, we've got Team Zevdi, which is Nevdi and Zeb, both well-known randomizer players. And then on the left, we've got Slow, which I really like their team name. It's a play off of their League Season 3 name, Slow, when they had Solski on the team. So Derp and Maniacal have been teammates before. But yeah, going to be an interesting matchup. All 4 players, veteran rando players, and we'll see what happens here.
For sure, Kip, for sure. So checking a bit of old Mother Brain there. Looks like some pretty good minor items for player 1, at least for Team Zevdi. Actually, both teams. You see Zeb's already into Pink Brinstar there. Going to be checking the wave gate, but the rest of these runners pretty much following the same kind of routing here, checking Bomb Terizo first. The super nice thing about the Bomb Terizo fight is if you don't have normal bombs, chat, you don't have to fight BT.
Now, I think people in the chat have probably pointed it out, but we should probably be aware of it too. It looks like there's basically a player 1 and a player 2 per team. Typically, they are across from one another. Maybe, I don't know if that's getting fixed or not, but Zeb is player 1 and Maniacal is player 1, I believe. Or, well, we'll figure it out here in a second. But Maniacal should be player 1, Derp should be player 2, I believe, in this circumstance. Either way, it doesn't really matter who's 1 or 2. It just matters that they line up. But we saw a screw attack for player, I guess, 2 in this case. So we'll see. Oh, Derp is player 1. So I think they're inverted.
Yeah, just like, that's how you can take a photo of a MiG-28 as if you're inverted, right, Kip? But
right. Listen, I don't know how any of this stuff works. I'm just here to talk about the gameplay.
Exactly.
I have no. I can't provide any criticism or insight on the tech part of it.
Oh, me neither. Absolutely tech challenge, but you know what? That's okay because we got wonderful people here at Speed Gaming that can take care of the behind-the-scenes action while we commentate about the main event here. This amazing race, this winner's semis.
So
But
since this is major minor, I want to make a quick point. Look at Derp real quick. Since he does have screw attack and one explosive, he is going to make this gauntlet check. The gauntlet check in the current multi-world is actually, I would argue, pretty increased in value. I don't think it becomes so dominant that you can never consider skipping it, but it increased in value because in this logic, suits can be in criteria. So Varia and Gravity can be at the gauntlet location in a major minor, whereas most of our previous, randos, that would not be the case.
no, for sure, Kip. I completely agree with you. I think with this item loadout, energy's always a, a precious commodity in Super Metroid, but having screw attack going through Gauntlet and having, those power bombs, it's a great check from Derp. I don't think that Zevdi has made his way over there yet, but I know that Zeb does have a plasma beam. I'm guessing Maniacal does as well.
So this is going to be interesting. First of all, big shout out right away to our tracker Jestro Zooks. Tracking multi-world where you have 4 players and each fanfare is like, just over a second is incredibly difficult. Funny thing there, Maniacal having to super those frogs to get them off of him and to get the power bombs there because he still doesn't have regular missiles yet. I do want to point out, I don't know if it was Zeb or Zevdi because it might have happened before they inverted it, but one of them, I think it was Zeb, did the Green Hills route at the beginning.
Yeah. So-called meme router.
Yeah. And so he might be heading to, this is a really good play if you want to go straight to wreck ship, which I think actually probably has even more value in a major minor. He does have Spring Ball, which will allow him to get over fairly easily, which is nice for him. And we'll kind of see what happens. But yeah, this matchup, this stuff moves so quickly. It's kind of hard to talk about what's happening and talk about the ins and outs. But, we're here, Hockey, not only to explain what's happening, but I guess also to provide our quote unquote expert opinions on the matchup and the players. So let's be sportscasters for just a minute.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we both have tremendous respect for both teams.
That's right, we do.
But each team legitimately does have some strengths and weaknesses, so to speak. So, how do you think these two teams sort of match up?
Well, from what I've seen from Zeb and Zevdi in the past, I've never seen them join forces like this before. But I know Zevdi to be a pretty aggressive SM player. I think that in something like a multi-world rando, I think that's kind of you're maybe tipping the scales of risk versus reward maybe a little bit too much towards risk, whereas I feel like Maniacal and Derp are a little bit more on the conservative side, to be honest, but capable of making those aggressive plays when they need to.
It's interesting how multi-world pans out because you end up with 2 people on the same team that are sort of different skill sets, you know what I mean? And so how those skill sets interplay with one another actually kind of has a lot to do with how you can approach seeds. I think all 4 players are quality players. They're very experienced at rando. If I were forced to give speed running sort of vanilla categories edge off the top of my head, it depends, but I think Zevdi probably has the best any percent PB, but I think Derp might actually have a little more experience in other categories. But if we were to talk about who has the most adaptable mechanical ability for rando, I'd probably give it to Zeb. So it's really this matchup, in my opinion, is actually really intriguing.
Yeah, for sure, Kip, for sure. We do have some early beams found. We have Ice Beam for player 2, Plasma Beam for player 1, as previously mentioned, Spring Ball for player 1, but also normal bombs for player 2, at least for Zevdi, for Team Zevdi. So I think that could be crucial. You do need a way to get through worst room in the game. Now, of course, that'll be rendered null and void once these runners find high jump boots, but so far they haven't found it. But I like this wreck ship play from Zeb here. That's exactly what you were talking about, Kip.
Yeah, and we will see. We will see what the choices are. In major minor, I would say maybe the prototypical play for a lot of people would be to get the first 2 items after Fantoon. One of which is still pretty slow and, kind of dangerous, but still, if you're going to come over here, it's especially early, you're probably going to want to at least get 2. But then there are 2 more items after you do attic, but only one of them is available if you don't have the speed booster, which currently Zeb does not. So, we'll see. The thing, Hockey, that I think I've continued to learn about Multiworld is you have to think about it drastically different, because sometimes you might need to make checks that don't seem as good because it's not just your loadout at the moment. It might be that your teammate also doesn't have anything yet. So it's tricky, but it looks like we did find a Various suit there, so that's good.
Yeah, so a timely Various suit for Zeb right before this Fantoon fight, and Maniacal gearing up to accomplish the Kraid quick kill. Oh, Claw took away one of those missiles. So unfortunately, Maniacal will get Kraid to stand up, get up, stand up, fight for whatever items behind Kraid, but
yikes.
Nice fight here for Zeb. Not sure where that Various suit picked up, but I love that check. I love the X-ray check from Derp, even though it was only a reserve tank for Maniacal. With that grapple beam, not 100% sure where he picked that up, but he does have it, and that's a great item to get this early in the seed. And it doesn't look like Team Zevdi has found that grapple beam.
Fortunately, Maniacal was able to survive that Kraid fight without the Various suit, but now Derp has picked it up, so he's in much better shape now.
Oh yeah,
just in time to go to Upper Norfair.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect to go to Business Center and extend that to Bubble Mountain. There's so many crucial checks to make.
So Zeb is through his oh man, Zevdi messed it up too. Zeb is through his Fantoon fight, and I'm confident he's going to check at least the first 2 items. So let's see what we have at the wreck ship here.
Very curious, because these right side supers do function as kind of the boss item, quote unquote, for the wreck ship, instead of a vanilla minor item.
Okay.
And that's P2's Varia's behind Kraid, so that's kind of interesting. Ooh.
Okay, there's player. From now on, chat, I think Zeb is player 2. I think we got him reversed, but listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to call the top player 1 and the bottom player 2, and y'all will know what we're talking about. But that spring ball is okay. It can be a critical item, or it can be a blank, depending on what else happens later. It's not exactly what I would want to see in this context if I were Zeb, but it could turn out to be good later. We'll find out.
No, for sure. So that's going to be all 4 runners with Varia as soon as Derp finishes off Kraid here. And that's only under 15 minutes. I think that's pretty darn good time for finding a suit. Instead of having to wait to get speed to check Waterway or Red Ship Reserve or Grapple or Ice to check Shack Tool. It's always good to get a suit early, I feel like.
Definitely. All right, I'm curious to see what Zeb gets up here at the E-Tank location. I will say I'm glad that Derp brought our Kraid quick kill percentage to a slightly more respectable 33% so far. Okay, just an energy tank for Zevdi. And here's the other thing about energy tanks. I actually don't think energy tanks are blanks in Multiworld unless you already have Varia. The fact that all 4 players have Varia, I'm not saying energy tanks don't matter anymore, but their potential value to get through a tricky situation later is now diminished. So not what Zeb wanted to see.
But Zevdi checking Ice here, and an X-ray scope for Zeb, so could have ramifications later. He does have Plasma Beam, but no Charge Beam yet. And already defeated 1 boss that's capable of being microwave, so the utility of that microwave beam is diminished, but not completely wiped clean.
And Zeb does leave.
Yeah, I think that's a great play, unless Gravity has something really good. But I mean, the runners do have some great pickups. It looks like Zevdi picked up play. Everybody's got Plasma now. Holy smokes!
Yeah, and player 1 has Plasma, or at least Maniacal has Plasma and Wave. which is very, very helpful. Oh, nice spring ball across for Maniacal there. That was neat, Cathedral.
Oh no, Zevdi picking up space. We already had plasma. No.
Kids, no playing ball in the Cathedral.
That's right.
Wait till we get home.
wait till we get home. Oh my goodness. Now this is probably in terms of randomizer. I love the upper Norfair section. I just feel like it's chock-a-block full of checks to make, but this is a tough jump to make without high jump boots. Pretty tough. Not saying these runners can't do it. These runners are exceptionally skilled, but it is a challenging sequence.
Now, Maniacal, correct me if I'm wrong, Maniacal did not check Gauntlet, right?
You know?
So
I'm
we're
not
about to
100%
see,
sure.
yeah, I think we're going to see player one Gauntlet for the first time.
That's right, because yeah, player two had screw attack, which made it tractable. But now Varia suit, plenty of E-tanks, reserve tanks, and power bombs. It shouldn't be too bad here for Zeb.
No, you can basically just take a nice dip in the acid for a while with Varia suit on. Just Spazer. Man, Zeb's having a tough go of it at the beginning here.
Yeah, that's man. It's like, when is the seed gonna open up a little bit?
So here's the issue with what Zeb's done. I guess it's not an issue with what he's done in terms of I don't think he made a bad choice. I'm just responding to the choice and then what ended up happening. If for some reason both seeds end up becoming very linear, like let's say Maniacal and Derp find their lower Norfair access and then maybe Gravity like in a pretty obvious location that they don't have to hunt for, and then they're just kind of in go mode, then technically I would say they're pretty far ahead because they're not going to end up doing any of the stuff that Zeb did, right?
Right.
Or Maniacal isn't, but it just depends. If something critical is in player one's attic, like upper X ship or whatever, then we'll see what happens. But right now, there are more potential item placements that I think benefit slowslow, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty astute observation for sure. And how about some astute tech? I love Derp freezing that waiver and then using infinite bomb jumping to get to his own speed booster here.
Speed booster.
And Nebby's going to get that just behind Derp here by a couple screens. So speed booster for player two. Not a shabby pickup. We're really going to see a treat here from Zeb. No grapple beam, no space jump, X-ray check. Going to have to manipulate these waivers into position and damage boost off of them very carefully.
The good news is if he fails, he's got Spring Ball, which is like one of the best backups you can have, but he's got it, looks like. Oh, he does. Okay.
Oh, so close. But going to go with the backup.
Yeah, only going to take a few seconds. Not a huge deal. Also, with Varia, he's not taking nearly as much damage. And I don't think Maniacal checked this, so this is another opportunity to get something good. If this turns out to be a blank, though, Zeb will have invested. Okay, Space Jump is good.
Exit, yeah.
But usually not a required item, but that's very valuable. So we'll see what he can get out of it.
It certainly makes, well, I mean, you just tank the damage, but he's going to have a really fast escape here from X-Ray. And just, Space Jump is one of my favorite items, Kip. I feel like it has incredible utility throughout the run, or throughout the seed, I should say.
I agree. It's while I said earlier that it's usually is not a required progression item, its value is very high, especially if you get it like prior to doing Norfair or Meridia. So yeah, you always love to see that. Is Zeb going back to Waterway?
It looks like it, and it also looks like both members of Zevdi have speed booster, so I think it wave. I don't know if I saw. Well, I haven't seen Derp check wave. He's been. I guess he just left wave, so he picked up speed booster there too. My goodness.
Zeb needs to find, if we're just being realistic here.
Gotta be gravity, right?
Zeb needs to find. A gravity suit would be huge, but I would say at minimum he needs to get like high jump boots here.
High jump boots, or maybe even a charge beam. Maybe distant third charge beam, but first and second for sure, gravity and high jump.
And I think, you know, it's hard to know exactly what each runner's thinking, but he might be thinking that he needs to make this play already because of how things have shook out. He probably knows that the other team, if they both went down, are in a different position. See, Screw is fine, but Screw's primary value is in lower Norfair, and in particular, it's even more so if you're trying to do suitless. And since both teams already have Varia, I think it's... Let's just put it this way. It's a great item, but its value is greatly diminished in this context.
Right. I agree with you there, Kip. I love Screw Attack as much as the next person, but I just really hope having to travel all the way back there to Waterway, not wanting to orphan that item if it's something super, super critical. But not the one he wanted, but he's not going to turn it down.
Yeah, for sure. So what's really going to be messed up is, I know Derp for sure is comfortable with high jump bootless lava dive. I'm you know, confident that Zeb and Zevdi are, and I would imagine Maniacal is too. But it would be really kind of troll if both players' high jump boots were like in their wrecked ship, like the upper portion of the wrecked ship, and that they had to go down to get these speed boosters to go back up and get them.
That would be quite the logic. Quite the logic indeed. But, so we have seen Croc, we've seen what's at Grapple. Well, we're about to see what's at Grapple for player 1 here. But not, that big ticket item hasn't been found. Zevdi's Grapple.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Is that P1 Ice? Or
Indeed.
No? My goodness. That. Talk about off the beaten path.
Oh man, they're running out of options. I believe, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Maniacal, within the logic, even though he does not have grapple, no, he doesn't have high jump boots yet. So he can't do even Mama Turtle. I think you can be asked to do a Mama Turtle even without grapple, but he doesn't have high jump boots. So they're running out of options. Player 2's Waterway could be something. We know player 1's Waterway wasn't, but it looks like both players are probably going to have to find something in Wreck Ship.
Yeah, all signs are pointing to Wreck Ship, or I mean, could you even make the dip into Meridia for Mama Turtle, or do you absolutely have to have high jump?
I mean, I have to have high jump. I don't know if there is, you know, some cosmic brain way to do it. Otherwise, let me just put it to you this way. Even if you could, I feel like that would be...
It would just be incredibly slow.
It would just, yeah, I don't think it would be a great tactical play. I'm trying to be serious about it, but it's just, it feels like if it didn't pay off, you would just be sacrificing so much. And I wouldn't mind it if the circumstances were slightly different. It's just that right now, slow, both have the entire wreck ship. One of them has X-ray. One of them has, both of them have Waterway. So that play would be a bit of a rough one. By the way, Zeb also missed Craig quick kill. Derp is the only person that was able to do it. Looks like Derp is going for the high jump bootless lava dive, y'all.
Oh, wow.
So it's getting serious.
So we're 1 for 4 on Craig quick kills, but let's see if we're going to go 1 for 1 on bootless lava dives here. Kudos to Derp for trying this. This is a tough trick, but he's got lots of health.
Listen, he did it against me in the GT Classic multi-category tournament, and he pulled it off. So I got all the faith in the world he can do it here. Look at this guy.
Oh my goodness. And Zevdi at the same time also attempting it.
Okay, so here's the problem though. And this is something I've brought up many times before. I don't dislike the play. I like aggressive plays. With that said, we need to pay attention to Derp's loadout.
Yeah, that's a tough lower Norfair loadout. It's
not fantastic. The primary problem is worst room in the game, which, you know, some people can do the wall jump. I know Zeb for sure does it all the time. I have no doubt that all these players can do it, but it's not necessarily something you always want to be doing in a race. But he does have bombs, which is perfectly fine. It's a bit slow, but I don't think it's slow to the point where it like ruins your whole thing, because you have a lot of routing efficiency doing it this way. So anyway, there's pluses and minuses to quote-unquote doing lower Norfair out of logic. Even if you can do it, it doesn't mean you always should do it for time. but I think in this context, I actually agree with it, especially if they end up finding gravity at one of these locations.
No, for sure. You saw Nevdi.
Oh, wow.
Nevdi popped that crystal flash. What was the GT there?
Gravity for dirt.
Oh my
so
God.
player two's gravity is at player two's screw.
That is massive. But Nevdi popped that crystal flash. See if he can make it. Maniacal almost up and through.
Maniacal.
This is getting a little dicey here with these bootless lava dives. 3 out of 4 players are attempting them. Oh,
losing it like that, where he had the whole thing, is rough.
Pop that power bomb. Let's get that other crystal flash going. Oh my goodness. The double crystal flash. So much ammo. I love to see it. And Nevdi's going to dust himself off and try that again.
Yeah, Maniacal just needs to reset. I don't think he can get in anymore. Oh, maybe he can. No, he's done.
Oh.
You know what's really tough about Maniacal? He had it all the way up to the final wall jump to the left. Like, he had made it all the way to the top and then beefed it. That is the single most painful way to lose that.
Yeah, on the very last wall jump. But how about Nevdi showing incredible determination with those double crystal flashes to get up and in to lower Norfair? My goodness. Ooh. This tournament really does have everything, Kip.
It does. This is why this is it looks like Derp is going for the wall jump. I would just prefer doing the bombs because... Okay, well, he got it. He got it. The point that I was going to make, though, is that even if I had done a single bomb jump right there, I would have only lost about 5 seconds to Derp. So the problem is once you start going for it, you just kind of have to get it.
I have to do it.
Right. So there you go.
Oh, you love to see it. That jump is so difficult. But fortunately, Nevdi not going to orphan this gravity suit here at GT, so that's a huge bonus. But Derp's really putting on the afterburners here. So
listen, again, I said earlier, our job is to provide the best, most honest commentary that we can. First of all, I'm friends with all these guys. Like, I like all of them. I've known Maniacal probably for longer than any of the other ones. We've been buddies for a while. So I'm about to say something that is not meant in any way to disparage him, but he would tell you the same thing. Maniacal, of the 4 players, I am confident has practiced the least and has the quote-unquote, least technical ability of the 4. And so I'm not shocked to see him accidentally beef like a trick like that. But really, I'm basically saying this so that later when he listens to the commentary, he'll get mad at me and then try to go practice some. Because Maniacal basically has, I would argue Maniacal might have one of the top 1 or 2 brains for rando in all of the whole Super Metroid community.
I would agree with that for sure.
So if he just practiced like for a few hours,
oh my god,
he'd be unstoppable.
Literally lighting up poor Maniacal as he completes the bootless lava dive.
That's right. That's right.
Oh my god, it couldn't have been timed better.
Motivation, because they're listening to us. But no, in all seriousness though, like it's good to see him get through that. You don't like to see someone get stuck for a while at something like that.
No, for sure. And I think Nevdi gonna try maybe a spring ball jump here instead of going for that incredibly tight wall jump. Wow, look at that from Nevdi. Fantastic movement. But not much in lower Norfolk except for that crucial gravity suit for P2. So I think Derp's thinking just full throttle to Ridley and get the heck out of Dodge.
All right, energy tank for Maniacal, which is nice. Now he won't have to go back into the room and refill. He can do a spring ball jump out of here, which should be fairly easy. I think he needs to start a little bit lower. Derp starting his Ridley fight.
With this many supers, it's not too shabby. It's not too bad of a fight. They can just turn the DPS up to 11 and just pound those supers.
Good
fight.
That was
brilliant. Yeah, that was brilliant.
Now, listen, here's the deal. Like, I was making a point about Maniacal earlier, but what I'm about to say is meant totally sincere and analytical. Oh, there's the gravity suit so the player 2 gravity suit is at Ridley. Maniacal needs to kick it into gear because look how close Zeb is to him, relatively speaking, than he was earlier.
That's true.
So he can't really afford to like constantly be making mistakes from this point forward. He still has edge, and he should be ahead right now, but Zeb is not that far behind.
No, for sure. And Zeb, I mean, he's got Fantoon down. Derp right now, the only other player that has 2 bosses defeated, and Zevdi in probably the next 5 minutes will have Ridley down.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
That'll be all players with gravity suits. So this is really starting to get interesting.
Also, that space jump is going to help Zeb down here as well as in Meridia. However, Speed Booster being the single most overpowered movement item in the game is going to let Maniacal have a much faster. I think Maniacal's too high. Is he going to be able to clear that? No. He needs to start lower. He's going to bonk. But the Speed Booster is going to like diminish Space Jump's value a bit. If you were to try to do Meridia with gravity but no movement items, let me tell you, it sucks. It's slow.
Great. I think Zeb's going to have a really quick Meridia, but I'm thinking, I was like, well, what about getting to Botoon? Well, he has Speed Booster and gravity. Well, he will have gravity, so that's not an issue. But then I'm thinking end game, he doesn't have ice, and he only has 5 power bombs.
I think Maniacal's too high again. He's too high again, and Zeb has passed him. Zeb has passed Maniacal, and Zeb has killed Fantoon, and checked like all these other major item locations.
This is really starting to heat up, Kip. I mean, it just took a couple items, a couple good checks from both teams. They routed very similarly, at least here in the middle. And this is really tightening up.
Well, I mean, unless I'm just sort of missing something, Maniacal's last 8 minutes have been so slow that like I think Zevdi's now like clearly in the lead. Maniacal doesn't have space jump. He still has to kill Fantoon, and Zeb doesn't. And in this game or in this tournament, it's not your average time, it's the last person to finish. That's Maniacal true. Is definitely going to be finishing behind Derp. So Derp's finish time is irrelevant. The only thing that matters now is when is Maniacal going to finish relative to Zeb and Zevdi. And Zeb is actually legitimately ahead of him right now in this location. And on top of that has one less boss. Like Zevdi just took a lead when they were multiple minutes behind.
Yeah.
Like not even 5 minutes ago.
It's been an interesting one for sure. Although I do think that Zeb, if everything goes, like let's say that he ends up having to get power bombs to deal with the Metroids, like he's gonna have a pretty slow Torian, but I'm not sure if that alone can make up for a one boss deficit.
No. And look, we can do the requisite anything can happen discussion. I mean, obviously that's true, but sincerely, when you're talking about 4 people that are legitimately experienced and extreme unfortunate things are pretty unlikely, not impossible, but unlikely. This is, let me just put it to you this way. Like if you stuck me in Maniacal's situation and I knew where the other 2 people were on the other team, I would not feel good about it, if that makes sense. It's a tough situation.
That does make sense, Kip. But it does seem like both teams have definitely committed to ammo, so no need to find charge. We're half hour into this race, really started to heat up in the last 5 to 10 minutes, but not likely to find charge anywhere.
Hockey, I told myself before we got started, I didn't tell you this, but I told myself quietly that I was not going to get salty at any point and make a point about my own play, but I'm going to. Do you know how many, this is still a major minor, do you know how many minor checks these people have done that people have killed me for years for making when I do major minor? So I know people are gonna
they don't have charge.
It's only a 1 second fanfare, but at the same time, I'm like, man, people in the chat kill me when I go get that item. And here, nobody cares, so anyway.
Oh my God.
Salty.
Well, they can't just key in on one runner. They're watching all 4 at once, and all the minor checks kind of average out to a normal amount. You know what I mean?
No, I get it.
I
get it.
Yeah, if I were Team Zevdi, I'd be like, where are the power bombs at for Zeb? My teammate needs power bomb. I mean, Zevdi's got the market
great
cornered.
point.
Zevdi's got the market cornered. on power bombs.
Where was player one's ice? Because
I thought it was at I thought it was at grapple, or was that player two's? Honestly, I don't remember. I'm really banking on chat correcting me.
you bring up a really fantastic point. Maybe it's at his own Fireflies or something. No, they're right. It was at Croc. This is a legitimate problem, and Zevdi, meaning Zeb and Nebdi, they need to prioritize, constantly picking up miners, not just because of the lack of charge, but also because Zeb needs more power bombs. If he's not going to find ice, and having 5 power bombs for Torian is like awful.
Yeah, you're gonna lose huge swaths of time. Just completely dependent on drops. If you don't get the drops you need, you're leaving to go refill or just to reset Torian. I mean, I don't know. It's not an ideal situation. Everything was really going their way here in Lower Norfair, but it's something to think about. It's kind of in the back of your mind, like, where the heck are the power bombs?
So I'm torn. I'm a bit torn about this race because, the loser of this race faces my team, and whoever wins continues, and whoever loses that race is going to get knocked out of the tournament. Zevdi is the #1 seed, right? Or they were after the seeding. And so you would think you'd prefer to face the #2 seed, but I am like 6-0 versus Zeb and Nebdi, and I have never defeated Maniacal. So I don't know how I should feel about this.
Oh my gosh.
This is tough.
It is. It's very tough. I feel like as this playoff bracket has continued, every team has really elevated their play, and it's just been some spellbinding SM randomizer racing for sure. Yeah, I think there's if we're right, I believe chat confirmed that player one's ice beam is at their grapple.
That's correct.
Or at their cry, or whatever you want to call it. So to me, that's an orphan item for Zeb. So it's just going to come down to all these minor checks.
Yeah, he needs to find some power bombs quickly. The good news is I don't think either one of these players got any miners from the Red Tower location, so that's 6 that they should have access to. Yeah. The problem is that even if they find some, it doesn't guarantee that they're Zebs.
That's a good point. It's a really good point. Something to not overlook. Just because you find a power bomb pack doesn't mean it belongs to you. But Nebdi are all just making a beeline for Dragon here, taking on Botoon, trying to land those supers and those missiles. No charge beam, of course, so no special beam combination, no X Factor. But Derp, on the other hand, with 21 supers on tap, should be able to land those, go for the 1 cycle here. They're very close. Be a nice 2 cycle.
He did not get lucky. Botoon trolled him. It's a much easier when Botoon, just pops his head back out to say hello after the first round.
Shoots that green stuff, but Ooh, was that high jump?
Yeah, it was Maniacals. Ironically, I actually feel like that's actually good for Team slowslow. I mean, at this point they're behind, excellent. But I would rather, in that position, I'd rather have that item be for my partner if I was in Derp's position.
That's going to make an even quicker Meridia there for Maniacal, though he doesn't have space jump. But a high jump boost will certainly make it quicker than without.
Dude, I'm starting to get worried about this powerbomb situation for Zeb.
I am too. I was looking at it, I'm like, no ice. There's no real chance that they're going to get ice, but still just sitting at 5. Like, this is starting to get a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, this isn't good.
I mean, what if that's what decides the race? Who knows? Anything, what do we say? Don't say it, but do say it. Anything can happen.
I say, you say.
Anything can happen in Super Metroid.
Zeb got the worst pattern there, and then again, Botoon was not friendly, and now that he's been popped too many times, he's not going to go back into his hole. So this isn't good.
Not too shabby. So a little Dragon quick kill here, using that grapple beam on that electricity for Zevdi. No sweat there. Really no need to check the major. It's going to be all minors on minor checks here for Team Zevdi.
There's Zevdi's charge beam.
Oh.
By the way, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Great, but
yeah,
it still doesn't eliminate the very real possibility that Zeb desperately needs power bombs.
Yeah, the single most important thing for Team Zevdi right now is power bombs. Real quick, you'll note that Zevdi has caught up to Derp. I didn't watch Derp closely, but I'm fairly confident that the reason for that is Derp probably did a bunch of checks because he was so far ahead of Maniacal. So it's not like Derp was just messing around.
No, he was looking for stuff.
But again, it makes more sense to do it that way because the rules are it's all about the secondary finisher. So that brings up some interesting situations where one teammate can be doing things they normally wouldn't do.
I think we did see a sand pit check from Derp. We saw Main Street. We saw a bunch for Derp. But a really good point though, Kip. Really good point. It's almost like whoever's setting the pace, whoever's in the lead, they can make those kind of off the beaten path checks and not really be punished for them.
Right. So I believe Zeb, he did check Gauntlet earlier, right? But I don't think he did the back of Gauntlet. So there's two miners back there. He's got Speed Booster, which will let him check the criteria power bombs fairly quickly. I don't think Zeb checked 230, which is not what you want to do, but it is there.
You gotta.
right. It is there. And then he still should have 3 checks at Red Tower. He also could, I believe, he did not do Beach and Watering Hole earlier. So that is technically on the table as well.
Maybe on the way out or something. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, Zevdi, why did you do that, man? You had a glorious chance to do the low ice bomb jump out of there.
Love that door. Just moving into position there. Just do.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's when you really get into the deep speed running is when you get door corrections.
Right.
Or incorrections in this case.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are now at the point in the run where we are criticizing their door corrections.
Oh my God, no, we're not. I just thought it was funny. Oh man, that's pretty good though. Yeah, Zevdi's just like, all right, Zeb, you're on your own when it comes to these power bombs. Maybe we'll just worry about it later. Maybe it's like, let me get Fan down. And
I get it. I was going to say, I don't understand why Zevdi's skipping those locations for Red Tower if he hasn't done them yet, but I think it's because he feels like he's way further behind than Zevdi, or than Zeb. Jesus.
One of them's right?
One of them's right. But so he's trying to go over to kill Fantoon as quickly as possible, and he's going to let Zeb go and try to find his own power bombs.
It does seem that way. It definitely does seem that way. But it might just be a mad dash at the very end to just be like, okay, guys.
See,
the word of the day is power bombs.
If I was Zeb here, and again, everybody feel free to have your own opinion, but he does have space jump and high jump boots. If I were in his position, I would have gone ahead and checked Beach and Watering Hole because that's 3 checks.
Right.
And you can get through them fairly quickly with your item set, and Zevdi still has to go all the way across, kill Fantoon. So to me, that's what I would have done to give myself 3 extra shots at it. But Zeb also skipped the Red Tower.
Yeah, maybe he's just going to do a Torian with 5 PBs. I have no idea.
Oh my God, please tell me you're not going to try this.
This might give Team Slow a chance here to catch up.
I mean, I guess it's fine. I mean, look, I can't question Zeb. I mean, he's one of the best randomizer players in the world, but that would make me incredibly uncomfortable. I mean, that's low % speed.
Oh gosh, yeah. Wow, nice air doppler from Zevdi. Did you see that?
That was insane. Well done, Zevdi.
Really, really nice.
I hereby cancel your Craig quick kill miss because of that air doppler.
Kip just says, granted.
Exactly. Hey man, pay respect.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think Zeb's just saying, for lack of a better word, like you think he's just saying, screw it, let's give it a
I,
try.
I don't like this call primarily because he had so much extra opportunity to find, like even just one dramatically changes how you can approach these rooms, because now you have a multiple at there. Let me put it this way: he's never going to have a multiple of 2 unless he gets drops in a room, and they're only going to drop 1 drop each, right?
Right.
And so if you at least get 10, you can do the first room, go back out, refarm back up, and then do the rest of it without doing anything else. This is very risky.
Yeah,
but hopefully for him, he'll get a drop here.
I hope he gets something, because otherwise this is going to be really costly. And Team Slow is not as far behind as maybe anyone would have thought after.
Oh, he got 2. Are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness. That is some drop luck right there.
Okay, so now he's going to go farm either the Kagos, or he's going to have to run straight back to the ship. Dude, I'm telling you, this is still tricky.
This is so tight, because you got Maniacal heading up to Criteria's surface, gonna be the simplest Fantoon fight ever. No checks are necessary. Derp's just finishing up Fantoon. Zevdi is about to make it to G4, but now he's checking. Now he's looking for the power bombs.
Oh
my
God! All right. That's pretty much GG unless something terrible happens.
Oh my God! I don't freaking believe it, Kip. I don't.
Well, they were bound to find some eventually.
I know, but to have them at West Ocean like that, leaving the wrecked ship, that is, what did we say? What did I say earlier at the beginning? I feel like Team Zevdi really unbalances the risk versus reward kind of seesaw.
They do, yeah, definitely. I agree. And so the thing here is, again, I like I've said before, I really truly believe that all 4 of these runners are exceptional rando players.
No question.
With that said, okay, we would be lying to ourselves from a critical thinking point of view if we acted like micro mechanical execution did not decide this race, because Maniacal and Derp had a significantly better route than Zevdi.
Yes.
Zevdi did, like significantly better. Not only did they not have to check some of the things that Zev checked, but the checks that they made that were extra paid off. Like they got ice at Croc and all that jazz, right? So they were legitimately ahead for a significant portion, but then ran into some execution errors, and then Zevdi just ran away with it. So I mean, that's the bailout of the century. For sure. That was, my goodness. So I just want to say, trust me, randomizer, knowledge, strategy, all that stuff are big factors in races. But this is still Super Metroid, one of the toughest execution demanding speedruns that there exist in retro speedrunning. And it matters a lot in a lot of significant situations in rando. No doubt about it, Kip. Cannot be understated. And to find that runner that is great at both, or good to great at both, is not super common. I mean, if it's a kind of a puzzle solving deficit, or if it's a skill deficit, an execution deficit, I mean, I feel like that's much more common. Yeah. We have a sort of a sliding scale of where everybody is, I think, on all the different skills. But I think when they watch this one back, they're going to be a little frustrated that they potentially, their game plan basically worked. Yes. They just weren't able to pull it through. Now this is another. He's got the charge. So I was going to say, this is another possible bottleneck here for Team Zevdi, but you see Zeb on a second try with that speed. Zeb's get wonderful execution. My goodness, what a race we have seen, Kip. The seed was unforgiving until it wasn't. Right. Is that 50 or 60 on tap for Zeb? I can't quite make it out. He's got 60, and then I think 34 extra, so he's got plenty of leeway. Yeah, that's gonna be one dead Mother Brain 2 in no time. And Zeb will finish significantly ahead of Nevdi, but Nevdi is, he doesn't know it now, but he's got tons and tons of leeway, so he's just cruising.
No doubt about it. Yeah, just getting those supers off is just so much faster than charge shots, even though they do less damage per. And Zeb's already into the baby cutscene. Nevdi wisely removing that screw attack. He regains his ability to have iframes for this ice Zeb skip. Perfect execution there. But Derp's into about to try his baby skip. Maniacal coming ever so much closer to G4. But like we said, Kip, I just don't think it's going to be enough.
No. I mean, unless an absolute catastrophe happens. It's funny, in my Discord over the last couple weeks, we've had this sort of discussion about, hockey to be, kind of serious for a minute. Like, both of us have done a lot of commentary. Obviously, number one, we never ever want to, be memeing to the point of disrespecting the runners and all that, right? We want to be complimentary to the runners as best we can.
Of course.
With that said, though, I think sometimes we overstate, like, how close races are, just because, it's the nice thing to say. But
Right.
in reality, like, there's a difference between a competitive race and a close race. And what I mean by that is, I think of close as what's the final time. Whereas
Sure.
sometimes you can have a race that's incredibly competitive for 30, 40 minutes, but then like one decision ends up being the right or wrong decision, and then you end up with a wide time at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
This race is not close time-wise. I would say it was competitive for about 60% of it.
Yeah,
But-
probably solid. I mean, they're going to finish. I think all four have a chance to finish sub-hour here. So I'd say like a solid 30 to 40 minutes. It was really nip and tuck.
Yeah, but then by the end, though, it's going to be it's going to be like a 3, 4, 5 minute victory, and I mean
Right.
that's a pretty big window.
Yeah, I'd say so too, Kip, in randomizer for sure. If you're finishing multiple minutes ahead, but like you said, I mean, you have to take it. It's more than just the outcome. It's the sum of everything that happened beforehand, and
Exactly.
it was definitely some really compelling racing.
I agree, and from a competitor point of view, like, there's a part of me that when I lose by 30 seconds, I guess it feels somewhat better, but at the same time, losing is losing, so
Yeah, no doubt.
it
no
doesn't
doubt.
matter. Nobody wants to lose,
Oh my gosh, the commitment that Zeb has to Blue Bomber, and he gets it on the second
Nice,
try.
great job. Also,
Obviously.
great baby skip by Maniacal.
Nice job, Maniacal. Fantastic baby skip. But you got Nevdi just about to gain the Hyper Beam and take down Mother Brain 3. Derp into Mother Brain 2. Maniacal about to try this. No, he's got Ice Beam, so he can do Ice Zeb skip, no sweat. But I guess the other thing, Kip, is that, I mean, nobody wants to run into you in Rumble, but at least the runner-up in today's race does get to stay in the tournament. And
Yeah, one more race.
one more race at least.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking, y'all. I'm just having a little fun. Remember, we're all friends here, so.
Yeah, we are, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. But anyway, we got Zeb finishing in first place. Obviously, both of the gentlemen on slowslow are looking at the race room, and they don't want to see that. They know it's probably curtains here in just a moment.
It just might be. Certainly wasn't for lack of trying. Like you said, Kip, their routing was exceptional.
It was. I think they had a good game plan. Of course, I've never seen a race that involves Maniacal that didn't have a really smart game plan relative to who they were facing. I feel like the sort of decisions that they made were based on what they thought they needed to do.
Right.
And it turned out that the items did allow them, like, it actually set up really well for them to do what they needed to do relative to their route, but just unfortunately just had some difficulty on the micro part of it.
I have to agree, Kip. You forced my hand. I must agree. But yeah, gonna notch another W here for the for the bracket once, right? Team Zevdi is the 1 seed too.
Well, they were the 1 seed coming out of the qualifiers.
Okay.
I kind of feel like the seeding in the bracket is kind of somewhat irrelevant because technically, like the top 4 seeds all had the same record, and then et cetera, et cetera. But GG,
right.
Team Zevdi, they have only lost 1 race this entire tournament. Now they didn't lose a race in the bracket yet, but they did lose to my team, Rumble and I, Lost Vikings, in the group stage. But they are undefeated in the bracket. They will make the winners final. They will face Bear Pair, and then the winner of that one will just await whoever comes out of the losers bracket. So that's a big race coming up soon.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Bear Pair putting on a great display of skill lately. I had the pleasure of commentating the race this past weekend. Really impressive stuff. We'll see if Zevdi wants to join us for a little interview. I'm not sure what time it is where they are. I think they're about to join us.
And we are now joined by the winning team, Zevdi. We have both Zeb and Nevdi. Gentlemen, GG, y'all played really, really well. Give us a little bit of feedback on your overall, thoughts on the seed to begin with and how it went for you.
It worked out incredibly well for us, I think. It was
the
crazy.
Bailout to end all bailouts.
Yeah, everywhere. Like
I can't believe
Bot Wound being Nevdi's charge beam was huge. Like that power bomb pack that Nevdi found for me at the end.
As you went up the elevator at Torian, I was like, yes.
I can't. I've never been that lucky in a rando before. It's crazy.
The double gravity in Lower Norfair was insane too. Oh my.
Because I'm doing I was practicing high jumpless before as like it never wins a race, but it salvages potential. And I'm like, it's gonna happen in this run, and I just couldn't get it. And then when it was double gravity, I felt defeated. Then I'm like, man, this is just too much time. But when it was double gravity down there, I thought there was a potential chance that we could eke it out.
I'm sure y'all love to see that. But real quick, I have to point out one thing. I'm looking at the stream, and I need everybody to watch Maniacal real quick. Maniacal, I have to bring up a parallel, and then I got to grill both of you gentlemen for just a minute before we get back to questions. If Maniacal doesn't do a Behemoth Spark, y'all, okay. We only had 1 player out of 4 get the Crate Quick Kill, and it was Derp. And then we only had 1 player out of 4 do the Behemoth Spark, and it was Derp. So, Zeb, Nevdi, congrats on winning, but I'm going to need y'all to go practice the Behemoth Sparks. We have a few more of those in the races.
I do the Behemoth Spark every run, and this one I'm shaking at the end. I'm like, I can't. I'm going to take the frames and just do it normally. I can't. Down to everything that I was doing at the end was just so careful.
Anyway, I'm just kidding, giving y'all a hard time. But GG to slow on a great race and finishing second. But yeah, I'll turn it back over to you guys. Just tell us a little bit more about what y'all are thinking throughout.
Yeah, I guess everything sort of, we had a plan, like we had a salvage backup plan if anything didn't work out, but we just got lucky that it all worked out. I need to see what these other guys did before I can comment further, but as far as the individual race ourselves go, yeah, I don't know. Go Zed. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure if what you guys were thinking when I skipped ice, but that was just me forgetting it. That wasn't any big brain kind of thing. I just forgot to go get it because I was watching Nevdi. I think he was in the high jump lava dive at that point, and I was thinking about him completely.
Yeah.
Well, I have good news for you, Zeb, because I didn't even notice. Hockey, did you notice?
No, I didn't. I thought you orphaned it, but I knew you went to Croc, but I didn't know that you never.
I didn't go to Croc. Nevdi did.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, I just didn't even. Where was ice then?
The ice was at Grapple, but he's talking about he didn't go to the ice location.
Oh, he didn't go to the ice location.
Yeah, there's just so many things happening. It's hard for us to keep track.
Are you mad?
But real quick, I do want to welcome in Maniacal and Derp and say GG on a great race, gentlemen. Tell us how you guys felt about the seed.
Seed was really nice, pretty free seed, which. I mean, it's a little unfortunate when I play badly on it, so feels bad, but is what it is. GG's.
So what did you guys end up doing?
I believe we did the same thing as you.
I mean...
Not quite.
Maybe
well.
maybe not at the beginning, but it kind of coalesced right around Lower Norfair. I feel like.
I'll say we just kind of went pretty thoroughly through the early game. Did all of Upper Norfair and then went down to Lower Norfair on both sides.
I did.
You both went down. Okay.
Yeah, I did meme route, and I went to wreck ship first, but I skipped the top of wreck ship. And then I did kind of a weird play to go check Gauntlet afterwards, because even on 5 power bombs, because if it were something for Zevdi, he would have been able to keep it. I was thinking about doing that on the way to wreck ship, but I figured I would get enough power bombs to be able to get out on the way out, but I didn't, so then I did it then. And then I went down to X-Ray, and on my way back from X-Ray, Zevdi found me speed, so I went to Waterway then, and then I went down. But Zevdi basically just did the normal route and went down, and then he full cleared Norfair, and then he struggled to make it into Lower Norfair for a good while.
The double crystal flash.
Yeah, you had to take 2 crystal flashes to.
Oh, imagine having the crystal flash.
Oh my god! I went into Torian on 5 power bombs and no ice. So
5 power bombs.
I had my ice. I didn't have charge.
Yeah, I didn't have charge either. What was your ice?
Ice. I think I got it at my grapple.
Correct.
Your
I
grapple.
think it was in my Upper Norfair.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it was my
So
grapple.
Derp-
Right? Wait, I don't remember.
No, it
No,
wasn't. Because
we did
Zevdi
go-
went
yeah,
there.
It sounds like Dope and I
Okay.
did the exact same thing, pretty much.
That's what it sounds like, yeah. Because I just went down, did Croc,
Almost. The primary difference, Zevdi, was he actually got the cred quick kill, but I'm just busting
You
your
were-
tail.
I was so excited for this interview because I'm like, look, Hockey and Kip don't bully. I'm so keen.
Listen, I'm gonna
Hey.
warn all 4 of y'all. If you're expecting comms to not bully y'all are gonna be disappointed when you watch this back.
Hold the phone.
No,
I don't have ground to stand. I don't even run this game.
in all fairness, we actually were very analytical in a way with y'all because of how good all 4 of y'all are. So we were talking about more of the nuances of the actual execution and stuff as opposed to the just overall
and-
stuff. But yeah, y'all, it was really interesting. I think Zeb, didn't you go Green Hills route to begin with? You went over to Wreck Ship first. Kind of got 2. I mean, you had, I think, the other player Spring Ball, but for the most part, 2 blanks. Then I think you blanked at Gauntlet, and then you also went back to Waterway, which ended up being Screw. But I would imagine that you weren't too happy to see that.
Yeah, I thought the screw was okay because I already had Barry and it would make High Jump's Lava Dive a lot more appealing. Because without screw attack, it makes it pretty difficult to get through Lower Norfair without High Jump and without Gravity Suit. But otherwise, yeah, screw wasn't a great find for me, I didn't think.
Right. But otherwise, y'all did basically the same things, other than Derp and Maniacal both did Croc. And so that was kind of the only major difference. And then everything kind of came together in the Upper Norfair and the Lower Norfair section.
Yeah.
You guys really had me sweating. Maybe Kip a little bit, but me definitely with the late game and just kind of this. I wouldn't say a mad dash to find power bombs because you guys, Zevdi and Zeb, you're just full throttle. We'll worry about it once all the G4 bosses are dead, and then just to get that single power bomb pack at West Oak,
Well,
it was just
So our thought process.
We plan not. Sorry. Go.
Yeah, our thought process was basically, I'm behind, so I don't want to check anything, because I'm the one on 5 power bombs, and Zevdi can check stuff for me. But I want to get there as fast as possible in case we don't find power bombs. So we can finish as fast as possible.
We kind of set ourselves up that Zeb was going to finish on 5 PBs, so I check on the way stuff, and whatever my time ends up being for checking on the way is what it is. So I can't. I don't know. You can't really play to ever find something in the late game in this game. At least that's what I find with Major Minor. So you have to have some sort of backup and go quick. It comes down to luck on the fact that it was there. And
also, the fact that I got 2 power bombs in that first Metroid room was insane.
Dude,
yeah,
that was epic.
Fantastic drop look.
So real quick, I need to ask both teams, there was a lot riding on this race because it's double elimination. Obviously, we're down, I think, now to the final 6 teams. Every team that's left first of all, there are teams that are really good that have already been knocked out, but obviously the competition's getting very fierce at the end.
Are there 6 left?
There are 6 left at this point. So Zevdi, you guys are going to be heading to the winners final to face Bear Pair, which is Azure and Polar Bear Bunny. Derp and Maniacal, you guys are heading down to face myself and Rumble, the Lost Vikings. So I'll start with Zevdi. You kind of win or lose, like you're in a really good position because even if you lose, you're already in the losers final. So I think this guarantees y'all to make the top 3. So tell us a little bit about what you're looking forward to with that matchup, and then I'll ask the same thing of slowslow.
Looking forward to a good race. It seems like whenever I race Astor and Randomizer, it tends to be really close races. So I really looking forward to it.
Don't worry, Zeb. I'm here to bring it back down to a not close race. I'm really looking forward to Bunny and Asda race. It's going to be good. I think for me, the best rando move is some of us in this chat here. I think it's Kip and Asda, and I just love as well as Kip versing the best. So I do think I'm pretty excited, and the second chance is nice as well. So I'm pretty keen.
Right on, Zevdi.
Slow, what you guys think about the upcoming matchup?
So I'm actually pretty excited that I get to race y'all, because I think I have raced Kip in a lot of tournaments. I have not beaten him yet, so I am still looking forward to the first one. I do think racing Kip is a lot of fun because he's very good. He's very analytical about the game, and I think I learn a lot from him, and I enjoy racing good players.
Oh my god, dude! I've never been complimented like this. I don't know what to do. I'm going to play like crap in our race now.
Oh,
Thanks,
that was what I was planning on. What do you mean?
I have good news for you. I have never defeated Maniacal in a race, so you're in good hands.
I think that
Maybe
might
neither.
not be true. I think you've beat me at least once.
Not in a tournament race. I haven't.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I've beaten you in a tournament race then either.
You beat me in League Season 1.
Only a league race! Exclamation!
Yeah. Well,
point.
I mean, I count them as the same thing. Yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to the matchup. Should be good. I haven't gotten to race Rumble since the 2017 randomizer tournament early in the brackets, so it's always good to get to race Rumblements, and obviously to race Kip is a lot of fun. So I think that'll be fun. As would the Azure Bunny matchup. Like, no matter what the result of this race, the subsequent matchup was going to be competitive and fun. So at this point, I mean, that's 4 of. I can't think of the 6th team. The only other team I can think of is TBD, who's still in. So who's the 6th team, Kip? I'm just blanking.
Technically, I guess I made a mistake because I guess I should have said that we're in the top 6 portion.
Okay.
Because Rupees just had their race with TBD and got knocked out. So there's 5 teams left, but we're in the top 6 portion. So that's where we're facing each other.
Yeah. I gotcha. Sorry, I was just confused. I was like, did I completely beef and miss an entire team?
The way I said it was incorrect, but yeah. So
gotcha.
It's a bunch of good players, and y'all know how it is too. Major, minor, and full play a little bit differently. Different teams, I think, maybe have different skill sets in each. I actually like the fact that it's kind of 50-50 here. I say like as if it's 50-50. I mean, it should be, but we all know that it's really like 75% full. But I like that there's 2 different options because it kind of keeps you on your toes. There's sort of like a multi-category element sort of to it. So I love it. I'm looking forward to the race. I'm also really looking forward to watching Zevdi versus Bear Pair. So we got some really great races left before this thing wraps up.
Yeah, all the teams left are really competitive, so I think all those races can kind of go either way. Each team has a reasonable case for how and why they would win. I did not bring that case to tonight's race, unfortunately, but them's the breaks.
Well, it was an interesting watch.
I'll try and practice up before we get to race, Kip.
There we go. Thank you. Well, go back and listen to the commentary. I was trying to motivate you. So Listen, I've been on record as saying this before, Maniacal. I only say things that you literally talked to me about because you and I have been friends for a long time. For anybody out there who doesn't know, Maniacal and I have actually hung out, IRL and stuff. But if Maniacal's technical ability was as good as his brain is for like rando stuff, he would be an absolutely unstoppable force. So maybe we don't want you to practice.
Oh my god!
It's about hours, man. I gotta put the hours in. Like. I don't know, man. Just Aussie. Like Aussie has a great brain and execution. So I'll just aspire to it.
Right.
or Ashdar, those guys.
Well, before
reversing track, like, gosh, if this Maniacal guy just practiced more, then it dawns on him. If he does, he'll be unstoppable.
Exactly.
No, Maniacal, don't practice.
Exactly.
No. He's fine. No practice, Maniacal.
There you go.
I did practice today. We'll see how much good it did me.
Same, and it was useless.
You guys are all amazing.
Before Hockey and I wrap this up, I just individually, do any of y'all have anything else you'd like to add before we get to the end here?
Just GG's to Zeb and Zevdi. Good luck going forward, guys. You guys are obviously a top team in this field, and so a blast to watch. Looking forward to watching it back.
Thanks, mate. We did focus on future races, about who we're versing next and everything, but just focusing a little bit on this one. I don't know if you remember me back in the day in the first season. I used to get smashed by Derp and Maniacal, and I was like, always just wanted to be like you guys and run as well as you guys. But I remember I had a suitless seed and Derp crushed me. I'm like, how is someone this good? And then Maniacal, I don't know. This is the first time I've ever beaten you. So before this, and it doesn't count. It's a 2v2, so I got to still get the 1v1 on you. But I do look up to you guys. Really really appreciate the race, and it was an honor to verse you guys because you're some of my favorite runners. So, GG.
Well, appreciate it, Zevdi, and thanks for making the scheduling work, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, better get back to work soon.
Oh my goodness. Way to go.
Derp, Zeb?
I also just would say GG and good luck in the rest of your races, although I'm not sure wishing you guys good luck is proper etiquette here with Kip also.
Oh, it's okay. It doesn't bother me.
Good luck to everyone, equally.
Get Kip out of the tournament, please. Come on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, thanks Kip and Hockey for jumping on comms. I love your guys' comms, so really looking forward to watching this back too.
That's very kind of you to say.
Yeah, I don't have anything as nice, I guess. But I'm looking forward to watching the comms back. I hope Hockey popped off when I got the worst from in the game wall jump. Me and Maniacal were both practicing that. He was struggling with it. And then I immediately booted it up and got it third try in practice.
Yeah, that was the upside of me going up. I found Zevdi spring ball, and without that, I don't think that Zevdi would have done the high jump plus lava dive. I don't think he would have gone for it. So, me going up actually saved us the race, I think.
Well, it was fantastic. Y'all definitely should watch it back. And honestly, when I see races like this, I'm actually glad that there's double elimination because when you see two really good teams play, it's nice that one of them doesn't have to go home yet. You know what I mean? So it'll be great to see both you guys play again, and we'll see what happens. Plus, to put a kind of period on what some of y'all said, we all like each other. We all enjoy hanging out with each other, but I also love that we're all trying to kick each other's tail too. And I think in some ways that like brings us closer together. So it's always fun to see competition.
Big agree. The worst thing about this tournament is I can't crush Zeb. I have to be on his team. It's the worst.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to crush me anyway, so it's okay.
All right, well, Hockey, listen, man, I really appreciate you signing up to do co-coms with me. I feel like you and I don't get to do it too frequently together, so I had a blast, and I hope that you did too, and I will let you get the final word here.
Absolutely, Kip. Thank you so very much, and thank you all you viewers out there on SpeedGaming. GG's, of course, to both teams. Team Zevdi moving on to winners finals. Team Slow still in the hunt, going down to the bottom bracket with a chance at that grand finals of the 2v2 2022 edition of Super Metroid Multiworld Tournament. As Kip said, I have been the Hockey Towner, coming to you on SpeedGaming, and so wishing you all a pleasant evening, and how about a better tomorrow?